They say Project 2025 will change your life. For once, they're telling the truth.
Donald Trump gets in for 4 more years. He is going full throttle.
Project 2025 is Trump's plan to make America different, less free, less fair, less American. It's a roadmap for total control. Trump's control.
The gloves are off. There are no holds barred here.
Not just of the government, of your life, of your body, of every one of your freedoms, of what you can read and say, and where you can travel. He'll round up American citizens, use the government to punish his enemies, put the crazy and corrupt in power forever.
It's 4 years of scorched earth when Donald Trump retakes the White House.
But he promises to only be a dictator for one day. One day, sure.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. We have an amazing show lined up. I know I say that on every show, but I actually mean it every single time.
We're proud of it. We're proud of it.
We are extremely proud of it. Tonight's show, we are going to fully expose the Republicans' agenda to end the American experiment. It's Project 2025. We've been talking about it since we started this show 7 months ago. And finally, corporate media and people within Congress, Democrats within Congress are aware of this plan and are trying to do something. They're exposing it and they're trying to fight against it.
It's being mentioned in Congress on record.
Right. And it's already being implemented in red states, in Republican-led states. Project 2025 is in full effect. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We have some Project 2025 influencers. I don't know what the hell to call these people. We also are going to compare. We're going to compare Trump and Biden, what they both did over the weekend. So we have plenty of videos. We
haven't done that.
Plenty of tweets. No. So we're going to compare the two. And you tell us which is the one who's going to lead us into the future and which one is a giant entitled man baby snowflake who's trying to be the 21st century Adolf Hitler. Okay, we're not going to sugarcoat it anymore. That's what this is. We have shown on this show so many goddamn times Trump's obsession with Nazi fascism. We have shown you the evidence, and we're no longer going to hold back, and we're going to call it for what it is. So first,
wait, hold on a minute.
We get into this. Hold on, what do you got here already?
Someone commented already. You see the RNC offering the Trump black card?
Yep,
yeah,
I got it. I saw that.
I mean, it essentially is. It's not like going to function like one, but yeah, it's supposed to like make people think they're buying some fancy credit card thing.
Yeah, and Laura Trump's the one that did the video for it. It's hilarious. She's like, click, click, click. It's made of metal. I'm like, oh.
I have not seen
that. Haven't you? Oh, you got, well, after the show, watch that shit. It's absolutely hilarious.
Oh, my God. Before
we get into it, the first half of the show is going to be quite serious because we're going to talk about Project 2025. There's really no fun way to talk about this complete nightmare that we're experiencing right now. But, of course, we can't go a whole show without poking fun at Donald Trump. So we're going to do that for the second half of the show. But before we get into the serious stuff, I do have to point out something ridiculous. We think that somebody should call and do a wellness check. Okay, we don't do swatting.
No.
We should do wellness checks.
We're compassionate.
Yeah, because we care. Even if we can't stand you, we don't want you to go crazy about this stuff. So Maria Bartiromo of Fox News, we think somebody should check her out because Huffington Post reports Fox Business anchor's fixation on Chinese baby army. Scratching our heads. All right, so on the right, Fox News host Maria Bartiromo seemed to be very worried about Chinese influence during a Thursday segment where she wondered if a little baby army of foreign nationals was infiltrating the United States. And she keeps going on about military-aged men, and it makes no sense.
Oh, so she's not talking about an army of like babies.
I don't know if she's talking about an army of babies or she's talking about a tiny army, and she's calling it a baby army. But nobody.
I know what I envisioned, and I know what I'm going to plug into the AI app after this show.
Chinese baby army, dude. Please,
I'm going to do it right now.
That would be great.
I'm going to do it.
That is hilarious. If that comes out good, add it to the show.
I'm so sorry. I'm about to type this into AI.
Yeah, please add it to the show. We have to put that up as an overlay.
What phrase, little baby Chinese army?
Yeah, baby Chinese army, Fox
Yeah, I'll just
News.
type that.
Oh my
All
god!
right, all right.
All
Let's
right.
move on.
Another thing that we thought was weird. Apparently, the Republicans in the House have made it a rule that nobody can talk bad about Donald Trump. I'm not even making this up. I'm going to show you an article from ABC. Yeah, Jim McGovern had his words stricken about Donald Trump, and all he was doing was laying out facts. But the Republican Party, it's perfectly fine for them to say it's a sham trial and the judges are corrupt and it's election interference. They can say that on the record. But if anybody says anything bad about Donald Trump, they strike the words off the freaking record like the snowflakes that they are.
So let's
okay.
Oh God.
Let me read this real quick.
Yep.
House grinds to a standstill to quarrel over remarks about Trump's legal woes. Jim McGovern's statements were focused on the 4 criminal cases against Trump. The former president denies any wrongdoing, pleaded not guilty, of course. Trump and his allies have cast the indictments as politically motivated efforts to keep him off the 2024 campaign trail. So McGovern, or Representative Eric Houchin, I don't know how to say that, we take down his words. Representative McGovern replies, it's okay to say the jury is rigged, but not that Trump should be held accountable. Mr. Speaker, I demand his words be taken down. McGovern says it's okay to say the court is corrupt, but not Trump corrupting the rule of law. Anybody, please, in the comments, make it make sense. Because it doesn't.
I'm amazed by this because we're talking 6 months out of an election that, by all intents and purposes, Donald Trump is likely not going to win. Okay, let's just put it at that. And if you forget him for a moment, there's a lot of sitting Congress people and senators whose jobs are not only upped, but it's serious risk because they've done nothing but like not care or shit on the American people since they've been in office. And in 6 months to an election, you're going to take up any amount of time to pass a rule that on the official record during their job, you can't say bad things about Trump. So how does that help them from people stealing your ovens that you're afraid of, or the illegal immigrants, or the space lasers? How does that help you? Because they don't want people to say something bad about the guy they asked for a pardon from? Come on.
Right. And let's be perfectly clear, we don't even have to say anything to make Trump look bad. The guy looks like an asshole all the time. We're going to show that later on in the show. All right, so let's get into it. Project 2025. CNN. You know it's bad when CNN starts reporting on it because I don't like CNN. I think they try to both sides too many issues, and I don't think they lie, but they try and spin things. And
they have a couple of decent anchors, I'll say. I mean, until they report something bullshitty for the sake of their paycheck, then I might not say so much. But the person we're going to see is someone I actually kind of respect. So
I do too. And just to be clear, we try to stay away from corporate news and use independent sources. We love Midas Touch. Obviously, we've had 3 of the members on the show already. And there's tons of other ones out there that are on YouTube and other platforms that are dedicated to democracy. They're dedicated to telling the truth.
To anti-fascism.
Because anti-fascism, let's be honest, the truth is on our side. We don't have to lie. Because they do enough of it for the both of us, really. I mean, for real. So
they do it so much that they're actually starting to tell the truth on themselves. So we don't got to do anything. But we're
right. And I forget this news anchor's name, and I apologize.
Abby Phillip.
I really do. Okay. It's a 2-minute video, but I broke it up into 2 parts. So we're going to watch the first half where she's just basically listing off everything that is involved in Project 2025. Then we're going to hear from actual people that are pushing Project 2025, people behind Donald Trump. Because we keep saying Donald Trump is an idiot puppet who will do anything and destroy anybody he possibly can to get his way. So as
you
long
offer
as
him a way out of jail, he's going to do whatever you want. You offer him money, he's going to screw over the environment for you. He'll do whatever it takes to keep himself out of jail and in power.
Exactly. So and that's all he cares about. And he will sign anything they put in front of him. So, all right, here, let's play this first clip and then we'll get into it.
Has given the country plenty of new evidence about what he plans to do if he captures the Oval Office. So let's go headline by headline. Lawfare. Trump plans to prosecute his predecessor, Joe Biden, for all of the many crimes that Trump says Biden has committed, but refuses to actually name. Saturday night massacres? Well, Trump says sure. He told Time magazine he would fire U.S. attorneys who don't follow his orders to prosecute his opponents. And consider hiring someone under federal investigation as Attorney General. Well, yes, Trump says that Ken Paxton is on his list of possible AGs. Fire the Fed chair? A close Trump confidant says, from jail, mind you, you can bet on it. Spark a trade war that could take money from middle-class wallets? That's under advisement, too. $1 billion quid pro quo offered up to oil executives? That's now under investigation by House Democrats. A plan for sweeping immigration raids, deportations, internment camps. Those are also being drawn up.
These are not exaggerations. These are very, very real. Okay. Project 2025 is no joke. They tried it in 2015.
Yep.
With the same thing. That's why we have all of the corrupt right-wing justices that we have right now, is because they've tried this before. And thank God Donald Trump didn't get elected a second term, or this country would be in a very different place. You know what? I got to admit, like Tennessee Brando said it best, that not electing Hillary Clinton was probably the worst mistake this country ever made.
Yep. Again,
I mean, seriously,
I'm not like going to defend her to the grave, but
no,
she was not Donald Trump.
No, and we would not be in the position we are in now.
COVID wouldn't be what it was.
Right. People, maybe 1 million people wouldn't have died. Who knows? So, all right. So that is just half of the nightmares that are listed, that she's going to list off. So now let's hear from some actual people that are pushing this agenda. And this is pure fascism. Okay. I call it written form of treason. You call it whatever you want, but that's what it is. It is the 900-page plan to end the American experiment.
It's a fascist manifesto.
Yeah, to destroy 2.5 centuries of work, 2.5 centuries of progress, and to basically turn us into like a North Korea type state.
Yep. They
will control every aspect of our lives, from the TV we watch to the internet we watch. Everything will be monitored, including women's pregnancies. So think about it.
Like, again, when we're about to exaggerate, we'll let you know. We are not exaggerating here.
Not right now.
Because they are the words from within the manifesto that is Project 2025. We've been saying this for months, and we've been watching it become more and more obvious that people cannot ignore this. And now their own people are starting to, they know the gig's up, so they're starting to make their push, and they're putting out content like you're about to see.
Right. And they realized how much they messed up, because they put the shit online at one point. It was, we showed you how to get to it. We showed you where it was, and they took it down because they knew what they were doing. They know what they were doing.
They're not stupid. Treason, they're insidious.
No, they're well-funded, well-organized, and there's a lot of them, unfortunately. So, all right. So first, there's a couple different of these influencers that are online on random podcasts talking about Project 2025. One guy's talking about ending term limits and making Donald Trump president for life.
Really?
Which is what would happen if he gets elected the next time. Not an exaggeration again. And then the other guys just talk. I don't even know what this guy's on, but he barely blinks the entire video, man. Woo.
Trump is just incredible. Abolish term limits.
Tone it down.
Make him president for life. I'm joking, sort of, even though actually Ronald Reagan, his last political crusade was to abolish term limits. Also, just saying that. But hey, I digress. Regardless,
I'm going to start this video over. I apologize. I just caught this, and now I'm furious. This guy has a white nationalist flag and a QAnon flag on his bottom left side.
I didn't even notice that.
I just noticed it, and I've watched this video several times. Now I'm extremely pissed.
You know what? Prove the point. There it is.
I'm just driving. That just kind of,
Jeremy's fired up today.
Trump is just incredible. Abolish term limits. Make him president for life. I'm joking, sort of, even though actually Ronald Reagan, his last political crusade was to abolish term limits. Also, just saying that. But hey, I digress. Regardless,
the only thing that matters is what? Chat. What matters? Anyone? Power. Power.
How's that cocaine guy?
You can see
Look
what
at
I'm
him.
now.
That's like that.
Power.
He's on pre-workout.
That is all that matters. No, it doesn't. And we have a system of checks and balances. That's a good one. That's really funny. We do. After the election, we may get the House back by 5-10 votes. Then we can pick a different speaker. He says, but this is not the time. Yes, sir. It is not the time.
Okay, so when he's talking about picking a new speaker, he had a post that Donald Trump was praising Marjorie Taylor Greene. Just to point that out. These are the people behind Trump. These are the ones calling the shots. These are the ones pulling the strings. These are the ones instigating the entire situation.
Yep.
It's so bad, man.
See, now that's the problem is these people have always been around. Obviously, the internet's old now. And this is the type of talk that you have heard and the FBI has heard. And anyone who keeps an eye on these homegrown terror groups, this is white nationalist talk. This is keep out the dirty blood people. Let's keep the race pure. This is what do we do with the people when we have power? Who do we put there? Who do we put down? This is white supremacy, Christian nationalism being openly spoken about, being pushed by people in our government. And now our government is starting to talk about it to try and expose it. But they're banning any bad words about Trump. So no one cares about Project 2025 coming through and destroying our country because they're too concerned with making sure it happens. If you can't talk bad about Trump, you can't explain what the guy is because you can't say a nice thing and Trump in the same sentence. So they're basically making it impossible to talk about 2025 because he is becoming instrumental in it. They are telling you. The guy says, I'm just kidding about Trump being president for life. You're not kidding. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said it. You added the just kidding as a disclaimer so you can't get dinged when they arrest you.
Like we have to say allegedly. Oh, man. It's a nightmare. It is truly a nightmare. And these are the people that, like, I can't even imagine Trump's cabinet. It would just be a full of just psychos and right-wing conspiracy theorists. Our country would be, I don't even want to think about what would happen if Donald Trump, I can't believe we're even talking about this stuff. The end of America as we know it. We're literally talking about the end of our country.
I know every generation likes to pretend that it's the end of their of the country. But if you look at history, the people that have been saying it's the end of our country are the old generations looking at the new people trying to destroy the bullshit that the older generations built up for us. It's never been the young generation going, guys, we got to stop. We're about to end this. Well, guess what? Most of us in this country are starting to realize that the end of this country is within sight. It's being pushed by a lot of people in this country and in this government, and they're white nationalist Christian terrorists. That's what they are. They're telling you what they want the world to look like once Donald Trump is in power for life. And it doesn't look like it's a free place where you could believe whatever you want, say whatever you want.
Exactly. So now let's go to what Project 2025's abortion policy would be. Not Donald Trump, because he doesn't care. Right now he'll say anything to get elected. The guy will flip-flop on any topic possible if he thinks it's going to get him some votes. This is what the policy will be. Let me say it again. This is what the fucking abortion policy is going to be if Donald Trump gets elected. Okay, let's play this clip.
So the first is the right to life. And our goal is to see that life is safeguarded. That means automatically, of course, that we're working today. We work constantly on Roe versus Wade being reversed. But that's not the ultimate goal. It's a big interim goal, a huge interim goal. But that will just return the issue to the states. And so our goal is for the right to life to be protected from conception until natural death in all 50 states. And we have a plan on how that's going to work. And it will take time after Roe versus Wade to do that. We'll start off with about 11 to 12 states that will be pro-life immediately, and then with a little bit of work, we can get another 10 or 12 states to join that. And with a little more work, we think we can get up to around 30 states that are pro-life by the normal processes. And then we think we'll have the political power at that stage to move to a federal constitutional amendment and move to all 50 states being protected. So that's...
There you go.
The plan is to end abortion countrywide, no matter what mechanism they choose to do it, whether it's full ban, whether it's state by state. They have plans and contingency plans to treat women like cattle.
Yeah.
Okay? If you believe that that's okay, go right ahead and vote for Donald Trump.
Exceptions. No exceptions whatsoever. And they said from conception. From conception. That bothers me so much. I mean, how is a tiny
so let's just use it. Let's just use a scenario here. Say I'm a scumbag who did something terrible to a woman and wants to continue to control her life. Well, in a normal world, the woman would be able to go to a doctor, determine roughly the beginning of the pregnancy, and whatever due medical course follows. In Trump's world, in Project 2025 world, the man that did the bad thing to the woman would immediately be able to call up someone and go, my wife's pregnant, I know it. End of story, that woman is a prisoner. Because don't think about that it's just the abortion that they're going to end. They're also going to criminalize motherhood. They're going to criminalize womanhood. They're going to say that once these sets of things come in play, ma'am, you don't have a right to your body anymore. So it's not just the abortion. It's, when you're pregnant, for the sake of the baby, you can't travel internationally. For the sake of the baby, you can't travel interstate. For the sake of the baby, you can't continue to work. Oh, that would damage the baby.
Women that are pro-life, for some reason, don't realize that if there's a total abortion ban, miscarriages will be classified as involuntary abortions. And you will be prosecuted accordingly because they will judge every second of your life leading up to that abortion.
Like people don't
that miscarriage. I'm sorry.
What my problem is, I'm no legal scholar, but I've always been interested in understanding how the law works, what cases lead to certain laws, and like what real life throws at you. Because a lot of times we talk very, very 30,000 feet. What does an abortion ban look like? Well, it just won't let you. No, this is what an abortion ban looks like.
Exactly.
If is the minute that a man can have control over a woman, any number of horrible things could happen. Since a miscarriage can be considered an abortion, which would be illegal, what's to stop the man that doesn't want the baby, that he just impregnated with the woman against her will, or no matter how, from pushing that woman down the stairs and then going, you did that, you didn't take enough care of your body, and some doctor to go, yeah, if she was healthier and didn't have that steak, maybe the baby would have survived. This is how the law works, because this is the diabolical bullshit you come up with in law. People trying to excuse bad behavior.
Yeah, I got to find out when that video is from, because he's explaining what is happening. Yeah. This is from, he's saying what we're going to do, and it's happening. Look, it's right before he got a few states to go total abortion ban. Then you got a few more states to jump on board, and then you get more and more, and then eventually it's going to be all 50 states.
We already have women trying to flee states to get abortion care. We already have governors of other states saying we will protect not only patients seeking abortions, but doctors who want to come and practice in our state to perform abortions. That's getting a little north, south, east, west, Christian, nationalist, democracy. Like, that's a bad thing when you have some states now criminalizing their citizens and other states going, hey, you can come here. That's going to end very ugly for the people that need the care, really. That's who it's going to end ugly.
No way. How did the Chinese baby army?
Yeah, I snuck it in there.
I saw it just. I gotta look at it. All right. Sorry. We gotta take a break to laugh a little bit. This is Maria Bartiromo.
Sorry for the timing, folks.
Chinese baby army. There they are. They're so adorable. Oh my God. I hope they invade the United States.
I didn't have enough time to fit the whole picture, so you can't see all the little boots. It's actually really fun.
Oh my God. Cute. I hope they come. They are so cute. I'd be like, come on, guys.
All right, come on. Why are we fighting? I'll tell you a story. I'll make you some food. We'll hang out. It'll be great. We'll get some drag queens to tell you good stories.
That's so funny. I can't believe it. I love AI sometimes. AI used for the forces of good.
AI is going to get me in trouble because I'm getting obsessed with it.
Too funny. All right, so moving on from abortion, now we have Steve Bannon. be talking about we just love your fear. Like, dude, we're not afraid of you. We think you're idiots. You guys are just psychotic. Like, I don't understand what they're getting at, but that's all they have is fear, because they can make their own base afraid. But for some reason, they think we're afraid too.
Because
Like,
they're assuming they're these big tough males that are just
get over yourself,
scaring everyone. They're just scaring themselves.
Yeah, enjoy prison, bitch.
We mock your fear. We want you to fear. It's going to be accountability. We are taking apart the administrative state. We're going to destroy the deep state, and we're going to hold everybody responsible that put this republic in the situation it's in today. Accountability, responsibility. And that will come with authority. The authority of Donald John Trump as the 47th president of the United States.
There you go, guys. Right.
I want to know. I want to ask him one question. If I was ever able to ask him one question, it would be, in a Trump administration that seeks law and order and justice, pure of heart, would Roger Stone, who's on recording calling for the murder and assassination of sitting Democratic senator, Congress people, would that be okay under your administration? Because that's the type of administration Steve Bannon wants to see. A person who is speaking to his audience and trying to speak to the worst element of these people. I get it. You're going to say some shitty things. But when you are championing the desire to see the suffering of other people, you're not the good guy. Okay? No. If you want to see people, I don't want to see you suffer. I want to see you see justice. I as an immature adult, I might find it funny, some bad prison stories if they ever happen to Donald Trump. But if you ask me right now, if I could swear off instant gratification for justice, I would want to see that man live out the rest of his life in a prison cell, unmolested by any other inmate or any other circumstance. Just sit there in his own misery. That's what justice would be. So, well,
can we throw in like one shower scene?
Look, I know that Donald Trump in prison. See, you got to understand, Donald Trump is a businessman, and he would come out with a whole line of Donald Trump prison accessories: soap on a rope with the best rope. It don't drop you, no dope.
It's the best prison soap.
It's the best prison soap. It's the best prison soap. Extra grip, long. We have extra great sandals. Great grip. The best grip.
Best grip.
Come on.
All right. Whew, sidetracked for a second there. Sorry about that. But that's Steve Bannon, who's on his way to jail. I think I've kind of figured it out. The main difference between Biden and Trump. Okay. Biden has been in public service for 50 years. His son served in the military. The guy knows what it means to serve the people. That's what he's been doing his entire life.
Public service.
But Donald Trump, right, through public service, Donald Trump wants all the people to serve him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't want to help the people. He just wants the people to do whatever he tells them to do.
I believe we played the video a while ago of him trying to explain that he would really like if the people in this country just kind of worshipped him like they do Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Like,
we did play that.
He said it. The guy is gross and only cares about himself. That's disgusting. Who honestly wants to be, because what he doesn't care about is what the people become. He has either tortured them into believing the nonsense, or they're so terrified that they try and sneak out and get murdered while they're doing it. That's what Donald Trump doesn't care about, because he just wants the praise. He wants parades with his face on flags and nuclear weapons rolling by the White House. That's what Donald Trump wants.
Yep, exactly. All right, so last video for Project 2025. Yeah, that's pretty true. We're going to play the second half of the CNN clip. So let's close that out, and then we'll get into poking fun at Donald Trump.
Monitoring and prosecuting women who have abortions. It's up to the states, Trump says. Contraceptive bans? Trump now says never. But that's just hours after saying, we'll see.
Do you support any restrictions on a person's right to contraception?
Well, we're looking at that, and I'm going to have a policy on that very shortly. Things
really
do have a lot to do with the states.
Withhold funds from Congress? Trump says he can do that. Deploy the National Guard to cities on a whim. Trump believes he has the power to do that too. But the same election deniers who tried to discard the Constitution in charge of upholding the Constitution, that is also part of Trump's plan. The civil service, you can expect that to be gutted. Social media posts borrowing language from Nazi Germany, well, it happened during Trump's first term, and it's happening again now. Add it all up, and Trump has given the American people a pretty clear picture of how he plans to govern.
Like a dick.
There you go. If we haven't made it perfectly clear at this point, I don't know what else we could do. To be
There's
honest with you, we've
nothing
showed
else to say. I mean,
we've read right out of Project 2025. We played so many videos of Donald Trump and his Nazi ideology, and I don't know what else we can explain at this point to
the
prove
only
that
thing
this is
else
what's happening.
I could suggest, and that doesn't mean we're going to stop covering things when they come up that are relevant regarding Project 2025, but if you want to do more research on your own, which we more than encourage, that's the whole point of all this, just go to YouTube, look up Jasmine Crockett Project 2025, and watch a master break down fascism in front of Congress.
There's another congresswoman that recently talked about it, and I don't remember her name. I'll have to find the video clip for another episode.
You know what the funny part is? There's actually quite a few people now that I can't remember who. It's not as shocking when they talk about it.
I know, right? I know. I'm just glad they're talking about it. It has to be talked about because this can't go under the radar. And I think their biggest mistake was their bravado, their ego. They thought they could just do this out in the open and nobody would find out.
And like
it's like Trump, is just do it out in the open and just
this isn't like the leftist QAnon. Okay, this isn't a conspiracy. They're literally telling you their own people are talking about it. Their figureheads and mouthpieces are spreading it. Even their politicians are talking about it. There is no conspiracy other than the one that they're doing right out in the open.
Exactly. So let's compare Biden's post on Memorial Day to Donald Trump's post on Memorial Day, and then we'll show you some videos. So this is Biden's tweet on well, obviously Twitter. Today, we join our grief with gratitude. Gratitude to our fallen heroes, to their families, and to the brave souls that continue to uphold the flame of liberty around the world. It is because of them, all of them, that we stand here today. We will never forget that, with plenty of pictures of Arlington Cemetery. Donald Trump. Wow. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to read. It's too long to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to read till the part where he defames E. Jean Carroll again. And I like to point out that nowhere in this post does he mention military, fallen soldiers, nothing. Nothing.
Well, don't think he knows the difference between Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Armed Forces Day.
Yeah, the first 5 words are normal. Happy Memorial Day to all. After that, including the human scum that is working so hard to destroy our once great country. Why is he capitalizing random?
Yeah, why the hell is that capitalized?
Yeah, and he's the ampersand sign to the radical left, again, capitalized Trump-hating federal judge in New York that presided over, get this, 2 separate trials that awarded a woman who I never met before a quick handshake at a celebrity event. Here's the defamation. 25 years ago does not count. $91 million for defamation. Well, dipshit, that number just went up exponentially.
It did.
Why? Why did you even?
He's uncontrollable.
So why? It's over it. Nobody's talking about E. Jean Carroll anymore. Nobody's even talking about it. And your stupid ass post on social media defaming her again, allegedly. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. All you have to do is move on with your life and never say E. Jean Carroll again. But no, you chose Memorial Day to post this psychotic rant. You absolute maniac. I am beyond words at this point. I can't even. I want to scream. It's so dumb.
Like, I don't even think this is part of his psychosis. He's always been completely uncontrollable. He cannot shut up and keep his own foot out of his mouth. But, like, this also borders on, I do believe, I don't know how to put this because it's demented. I don't even know if Trump believes that he did what he did. Like, because he lives in such an alternate reality. The only explanation sometimes is that he's literally just on another planet and he's living a different world. Because Yeah, shit. Earth 2, it is.
He's on Earth 2 for sure.
God damn it.
Mentally, at least. Physically, unfortunately, he's still on Earth 1, but mentally, he's completely gone to Earth 2. All right, so let me play a couple videos of Biden. This is what Biden was doing on Memorial Day. He was honoring our fallen soldiers by going to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier and doing the service there.
Present us!
See, Biden embraces some of our most sacred traditions where Donald Trump wants to just create ones that revolve around him.
Well said, bud.
I mean, am I wrong, though? You know what I
Nope.
mean? Like, look at
Nope.
him. This is just respect for tradition.
Well,
And
Donald
the
Trump
Ameri-
doesn't have respect for anything except himself.
No.
Well, he doesn't even have respect. That's the scary part. He's so shameless. He has no self-respect because he will literally sell himself to get himself out of trouble. He is shameless. He has nothing in him.
We talked about that before. He's got a for sale sign hanging around his neck right now. Oil barons,
Meanwhile,
anybody that'll give him money.
Forget about what Trump posts on Memorial Day. Remember what he does on Memorial Day. Remember what he does to veterans all the time. He called John McCain a loser. He refused to go to the cemetery in France. He, doesn't want to have parades because he said he doesn't want the injured ones to be seen.
Yeah, he thinks it's a bad look.
This is a person in Joe Biden who every time he does these ceremonies for America, as much as I am not one of those super ridiculous American patriots type of person, but the guy takes the time to do these things, even though how much it must hurt him that every time he does those, he thinks of his son.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, exactly. This is personal for him. All right. So now we're going to play two different ads that were, well, one's not really an ad, but one is a Biden ad on his social media. And the other is a video that Donald Trump posted on his, this is right off Donald Trump's. So I'll play Biden's first and then we'll go on to Trump's because Trump's is insane. I like how they just use his words against him.
You always can.
He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
You see the disdain he had on his face when he said that? He truly meant that. He is disgusted that John McCain, because now here's another fascinating part, right? Let's think about Donald Trump. He's a 7-year-old boy at best. He likes to play trains and tanks and make little army men, right? Okay. What does he think military service is? Do you think he's the type of guy that would watch Saving Private Ryan or watch Rambo and think Rambo is real life, but miss the point of Rambo? No, think about it. Because if you watch the first Rambo and you're an intelligent person, you understand what the point of Rambo is. But Donald Trump watches Rambo and goes, boom, boom, big tough guy. So he now thinks that if you're a good soldier, you're not going to get captured. That's what this guy thinks. He's despicable. Despicable.
Right. And he would not respect the thing. If you don't respect the military, then you don't respect the lives that are at risk. Because to him, if we went to war, he wouldn't care how many soldiers died. He would not give a shit.
No.
we would probably have another draft, and my 46-year-old ass would be back in the military.
He did not care about the American soldiers that were being killed for bounties. When he was president, and he was the commander-in-chief, who then, on actionable intelligence, allowed American soldiers to die so that Putin would have fun, I guess, betting on them or something, because that's who that benefited, not American soldiers.
All right, so the next video is some random guy just threatening Joe Scarborough, telling him what Trump's going to do to him. And if this was just a normal random video, I wouldn't say anything about it. I probably wouldn't even put it on this show. But the fact that this is straight off of Donald Trump's social media feed is why
And
I'm showing this video.
This is Donald Trump's rage imposed on superimposed on someone else's rage.
Right. Donald Trump right now is saying, yeah, he said what I want to say to Joe Scarborough. So yeah, I'm going to post this.
Yep.
And it's a threat. It's an obscure threat to what he's going to do to the media that opposes him.
I need to win. I can't wait. He'll get rid of all you fucking liberals. You liberals are gone when he fucking wins. You fucking blowjob liberals are done. Uncle Donnie's gonna take this election landslide, cuz. Landslide, you fucking half a blowjob. Landslide.
He's just ignoring him.
Fuck out of here, you scumbag.
He was just laughing at him.
Sorry about the language, everybody, but yeah, you get the point.
But like the funny part is, if you really look at it, he didn't actually say anything. Like what? Like he was calling him a half a BJ. What does that mean? What does that mean?
I don't know. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, I'm trying to do my New York accent. All right,
hey, wait.
So let's. Yeah, sorry. You're in New York. Yeah, you don't have a New York accent.
I can't even do a New York accent.
That's fine. All right, so I have a little cut and paste reel I did of. I know we already talked about his Bronx rally, but I have a little bit more from it that I wanted to play. And I think I have another clip in there too. I can't remember. I have so many clips that I put together for the show. And honestly, it's just Mike and me doing all the work, all the research, all the overlays, all the video editing, all the scheduling. Mike and I do ourselves. And crazy enough, we don't get paid to do this. We kind of do this just because we
get paid in the
necessary.
That's
right.
Not totally
Yes.
That's not
I mean,
totally bullshit. We do love what we do.
Oh God, if I could get paid to do this, I would never complain for the rest of my life. I would be in heaven. All right, so this is let's watch the clip and we'll talk about it.
God, all right, Jesus, Mary, and then Trump.
Let's go.
You looking forward to the rally, Mr. Santos?
Absolutely, always.
What do you expect to happen?
Quite frankly, I have no expectations today. We're in the Bronx, so.
Again. Oh, I like that. I want to get that done.
President Trump, oh man. One thing I want to say. One thing I want to say.
You know what?
They always gonna whisper your
forget
accomplishments and shout your failures. Trump gonna shout the wins for all of us.
Trump didn't know what he was saying. Did you see? He couldn't understand a word, and then as soon as he put his hands up, Trump went.
Yeah, I had an overlay made up, and I must have forgot to load it. Okay, so anybody who doesn't know that, those are they're both indicted for a giant conspiracy. I think it's like 140 charges, including conspiracy to commit murder. They've apparently allegedly hired hitmen and caused a lot of chaos and hurt a lot of people. And Donald Trump once said that he would put drug dealers on death row. However, he wants to commute the sentence for the guy that created Silk Road website, which was a dark web drug trafficking website. And Donald Trump recently said he wanted to commute that guy's sentence. This is what I mean. He'll say, "Yeah, we're gonna shoot people that steal stuff, and then we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna give people the electric chair, if they sell drugs." But wait a second, I'm gonna commute this guy who made like hundreds of millions of dollars and was like one of the biggest drug traffickers in the world at the time. Are you serious right now? Like,
I will say this to you for your money and vote and recommendation. I will say this to you for your money and vote. I'll say this to you. That's all he is. The beauty of Trump is how simple it all is. He's not a good liar because he will lie to you about one thing, and immediately, if someone in any way dangles something shiny in front of him, he'll lie without any reservation while the other person's in the room, and then turn back to that person and go, "I didn't lie about that." He's shameless.
He really is. He really is a despicable person. Like, it makes me sick to my stomach. And I hate to say this, but like we went Memorial Day. My dad was in the military, served 22 years, was in 2 foreign wars over a period of 2 decades.
That's insane.
And I'm honestly glad. He would be so upset with how the country is going right now. And a lot of the stuff I do in his memory, because I know this is what he would probably be doing himself, honestly, because it's a lot like my father. Anyway, moving on. Man, get a little personal. You know, that's one thing I realized. We never share any personal information on the show. One of these days, we should do a show where it's just you and me asking each other random questions to kind of let the audience get to know us a little bit.
That's not a bad idea.
It's not. I read that it's actually something we should look into. Maybe.
All right.
I don't know.
Now we'll do it. It'll be fun.
We'll talk.
You know what we'll do?
All right.
We'll make that a late night show.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And not appropriate for kids. We'll probably ask some stupid questions. All right. So let's check in on what Eric Trump posted on Twitter this weekend. He retweeted something from an account named Freedom. The family that gave up everything to save America. Thank you, with a picture of the Trump family. And Eric Trump reposted and says, we'll do it again. Oh my God, you entitled, spoiled little child. You
On the day,
sacrificed a thing in your entire life.
It's just funny how tone deaf they are, because the whole family's shameless. They will use any opportunity and say anything, no matter how appropriate it is. On the one day of the whole year that you're supposed to, just even if you don't agree with your neighbor, your creepy uncle, your grandfather, or the president, just shut the hell up and know that there were people that, whether they were used for good or not, whether they themselves did good or not by serving, they chose to serve and they sacrificed their life for this country. That is what they believe they did. And that alone is worth respect.
Absolutely.
One family and one candidate is incapable of that.
Yeah, I think I was either 13 or 14. when I was in the military, it was peacetime. Well, whatever. I never got a chance to get into combat, but my father, I watched him go to war. I watched him leave. I remember crying. But I also remember him coming home. And for some people, that wasn't the case. A lot of people, their parents don't come home, and which is a sacrifice that families also make in the military. Being a military family is not easy. Watching your dad or, my mom watching her husband leave, not knowing if he's going to come back. That is the reality of a military family. Something that Trump would never understand, ever. The guy would not sacrifice anything for anyone, ever.
I think it's important, and it's something that I never wanted to serve in the military. Both of my grandfathers served, and I'm very ridiculously proud of them. Whenever I get a chance, I talk about what little I know about their military service.
Yeah.
It's important to understand the concept of self-sacrifice.
Right.
You don't have to serve in the military to have self-sacrifice. You should be able to experience that by serving many people in many other ways. Hell, teachers put their needs and wants and often their finances ahead of themselves for the sake of their students. Nowadays, they put their lives on the line. But just as Jeremy said, the idea of sacrifice is so foreign and alien to Donald Trump. We're talking about a guy that today in his election interference trial in New York, his lawyer during his closing argument reminded the jury that all the checks were signed by either Don Jr. or Eric Trump.
Threw his own kids under the bus, bro.
In closing argument, Donald Trump threw his kids, who happened to show up today.
Yeah.
Only day they showed up, they see that threw them under.
So the lawyer's like, why didn't you call Eric? Why didn't you call Don Jr.? If I'd have been there, I'd be like, bro,
so
what the fuck?
as much as it's funny, the idea of sacrifice or the inability to even comprehend that, if you don't feel that the potential for you to give your life for something greater, whether it's another person, your family, a cause, the country, whatever, you cannot, in good faith, serve as the president of the United States. And I could prove this because Donald Trump said he never took that oath seriously. So when he swore on that oath, he was lying, because the man doesn't understand what the position entails and what it means, not just to America, but around the world. And if you are looked at as someone who cannot sacrifice for the greater good, you are not worth that office. I'm done.
Like I said, he wants the entire country to serve him, not the other way around. He doesn't want to serve the American people. He wants all of the American people, all of them, to serve him. And if you don't serve him, he'll throw you in a camp, throw you in jail. This is the reality we're looking at, people. I mean, this is not even an election coming up. This is a fight to save democracy as we know it.
You want to be a patriot? Vote.
Yeah. You want to be a real patriot, vote and vote correctly. Don't be stupid. Don't fall for this stupid shit. So
It's
let's
coming in
look at
2
how
weeks.
unpopular.
2 weeks.
The next two videos are great. Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Donald Trump went to the Libertarian Convention for some reason. And first of all, they banned rubber chickens because apparently RFK Jr. was having his people hand out squeaky rubber chickens to all the people that don't like Trump. So he banned rubber chickens. That's how much of a snowflake he is. But he got booed. He got booed the entire freaking time.
Can you imagine?
I have gotten to know Donald Trump over the course of the last several years and the last several months. And you're going to hear from him tomorrow night.
I encourage you, take a listen to Donald Trump, support Donald Trump, restore the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist these despots and these stuff.
He snaps at one point. Hypocrite.
That's
Hypocrite.
Only if you want to win.
He could have just
Only
left
if you want to
graciously.
win. Maybe you don't want to win.
Here he goes.
Maybe you don't want to win. Thank you, D-Roy. Thank you. No, only do that if you want to win. If you want to lose, don't do that. Keep getting your 3% every 4 years.
Oh, that is not a good way to win people over, dude.
So, number one, he's too stupid to realize he just gave the internet a billion sound bites. He is that stupid, but he also believes that all publicity is good publicity. So we could write that off. The funny part that I didn't know until I think I heard Farron Cousins talk about this today. I just think that's where I got this from. I didn't know this. I mean, it's logical when you hear it, but it's not something you think about. He mentions at that event that the libertarians should nominate him as their nominee. You can't be the nominee for more than one political party. Someone running for president should probably know that. So are you the Republican nominee or the I hope he runs libertarian. I think that's the best thing that can happen to this country.
Yeah, like basic civics knowledge, I think, is important if you're going to run for public. Like just the basic understanding.
Wait a minute.
I bet you Donald Trump, I will bet you everything I have in my house that Donald Trump could not name the 3 branches of government. I would seriously, somebody ask him, don't let him Google it, don't cheat. I'll bet everything I own that Donald Trump couldn't even do that.
So I think what he's doing there is see, everyone thought for a while that he would have RFK Jr. as his vice president, but the brainworms pretty much put an end to that. But I think what might happen is what the play was all along is that RFK Jr. is going to name Donald Trump as his presidential running mate, and then they're going to bridge the gap. I don't know, guys. I'm trying here. Like,
there's so many possibilities. None of them make sense. I still think, honestly, I think the only reason I think it's going to be Nikki Haley is because he needs her votes. That's the only reason I think it would be her.
Oh, speaking of Nikki Haley,
she's the biggest threat. RFK is not really a threat because the guy's psychotic.
Speaking of Nikki Haley, did you see one of the posts I made earlier?
I saw that her signing a bomb that was headed to Gaza.
And not only signing up, we're not going to get into the Gaza thing tonight, I promise, but she was signing a bomb that said, finish them all.
Yeah, she did that.
Okay.
Yeah. And
that's all I'm going to say on that.
We love Israel. I think it said we love Israel.
We love Israel, yeah. That's it. That's all I'm going to say on it.
Yeah, so we did mention, though, the closing arguments. We're not going to get into the Trump trial. I want to wait until the verdict comes down to really get into it.
True.
Right. And I still think, we don't have much time to talk about it now, but I still think that if he gets acquitted or if there's a hung jury, it'll give him a very huge boost, and we're going to have a nightmare to deal with afterwards. That's what I'm worried about.
Starting to agree because I just don't trust his followers, but did you read about the tongue lashing his lawyer got after the closing argument? So I'm going to go over it real brief, and it's amazing. It's also something, again, I didn't know. I learned. It's a good thing to learn things. So Judge Mershon reprimanded Blanche, Trump's attorney, for slipping about discussing sentencing, which is not a concern or factor for the jury to even think about. What I didn't realize is in a criminal trial, the jury is not part, or at least in New York, is not part of the sentencing process. They are not to consider any potential sentences. They don't have anything to do with it. So this is what the judge said. After the attorney for Donald Trump mentioned something about do you really want to send Donald Trump to jail for this? That was outrageous, Mr. Blanche. Someone who's been a prosecutor as long as you have, someone who's been an attorney as long as you have, knows that that is highly inappropriate. So the lawyer is doing everything he can to get a mistrial, to somehow screw this up, to either push it for another trial after the election or get this thing thrown out altogether, because any first-year law student would know the difference and why you're not allowed to say that, because you are now making that a prejudicial statement that might affect the jury. They might have said on this information he's guilty, and if you put that seed in one of them, that's all you need for a hung jury.
All they need, man. That's all they need. And he reprimanded him in front of the jury this time, because last time he actually cleared the court.
Let me tell you something. MAGA means make attorneys get attorneys.
Yeah, because Todd Blanche is about to lose his law license too, along with Alina Habba.
Yep.
Is barely a lawyer at this point. I don't think she ever was one. I still want to see the proof. I looked it up. She did pass the bar exam, but I still want to see proof. Okay, so you can tell Donald Trump is freaking out because this is what he posted in the middle of the night. All caps. Why is the corrupt government allowed to make the final argument in the case against me? Why can't the defense go last? Big advantage.
Wait, can I?
Very unfair. Witch hunt. DJT. Stop initialing your posts.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Guess what else I learned today? At the beginning of the trial, you basically have an option on if you're going to open or close, or if you're going to open first or second, meaning if the prosecution's going to open first or they're going to defer to the defense. In New York, in the criminal trial, whoever that lineup is in the beginning is the opposite of to close, which means maybe Donald Trump didn't know it because he's an idiot, but his lawyer knows that that's how that's working. So maybe he should have briefed his client before he opens his mouth, okay? Because these are all things that Trump is trying to do to set up for appeals, for mistrials, and appeal. Yeah. And if you look, I didn't get my chance here. And every one of those appeals, he's going to file one different sentence so we can keep filing millions of appeals. But it's not going to work because they're all going to get thrown out instantly. Because
if anybody, I mean, we followed this about this trial is about as close as anybody, I think. And I cannot imagine how this guy is not going to become guilty. Because, I mean, they're trying to make the whole thing about Michael Cohen, but the trial's not about Michael Cohen. It's a document case. It's about evidence, documentary evidence, which there's a ton of. Emails, texts, checks with Donald Trump's signature on it. All kinds of stuff. I mean,
how about this? In the closing argument, his lawyer, Trump's lawyer, says something to the effect of, you know, the people deserve to hear from more than just Michael Cohen. Okay, so the prosecution presented several witnesses amongst the mountain of evidence. And then when it was the defense's turn, because that's how it works, right? The prosecution does their thing, and then the defense does their thing. Well, the defense called one garbage-ass shitty witness that got yelled at, not only in front of the jury, but then the courtroom, including the jury, had to be kicked out so the judge could reprimand this moron one more time to his face. And the beauty of that is it shows that the reason the judge cleared the courtroom is so that he wouldn't prejudice the jury against Donald Trump. See how a real lawyer knows how to do things?
Exactly. All right, so last video of Donald Trump, what he was doing over the weekend, he went to a NASCAR race. And was greeted by not a goddamn person. Nobody cared. Nobody cared that you were there, man. Nobody gave a shit. You're waving to nobody. And yes, this guy tried to be patriotic. I'll give him credit. He made an attempt to be patriotic by saluting during the opening ceremony. But the only problem was the song that was playing was not the national anthem. And he did not realize it was not the national anthem. You cannot convince me otherwise. He saluted to the entire thing of Amazing Grace and then saluted a plane that was flying at like 5,000 feet over top of him. It's so ridiculous, man. Nobody is saluting. Nobody in the entire not a single person at this entire event is saluting right now.
And like you said earlier, that poor schmuck next to him was like, I'm not saluting, but I'll put my hand up, you jackass.
Yeah, he's like, why are you saluting?
Wait, look. Oh, there's the plane. Here come plane. Plane's
There's not even any music playing. His jackass is still saluting.
This are going right below him. What the hell are you looking at?
What? What was he staring at? He wasn't even looking at the cars going by. He's just with his headphones on and his little mic on there.
Plane go fast, cars go vroom vroom.
Yeah, the guy is so ridiculously embarrassing. Like we call it secondhand embarrassment. Like I'm embarrassed because Trump even exists and is possibly going to be president.
We at the Voice of Reason formally apologize to any advanced intelligent species out there in the cosmos.
We're not like that.
Claim him. If you want to just probe anyone, get him. Just take him. No one will fight.
Do us a favor. But I didn't even realize when there's no music playing as the plane is flying over. So I'm just standing there like an asshole. Salute.
It's so loud. Why is it so loud? How plane work? Why I hear it? No see.
Oh God.
That might be the ending, my friend.
No, yeah, that's it. That's the end of the show. We're out of material. And I'm crying. I'm literally crying. It's so stupid.
He wasn't watching the cars.
He wasn't even looking at the cars, man. What is going on? Okay, guys, have a good night. That's all we got. We'll be back on Sunday at 2 p.m. We got some great shows lined up, like we always do. We got some stuff in the works. Please like and subscribe to our channel. We want to thank you for real quick before we leave for the support. We've actually been able to break over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Awesome. In the short 7 months we've been doing this. Again, we do this with no budget, literally a couple laptops, some cameras, and a message. That's literally all we're doing.
That's it.
So we hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed the end result. We do put a lot of effort. We take a lot of pride in what we do. So yeah, that's about it. Other than that, we'll see you guys soon. Have a good night.
Around for the video.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. Always the ending video.
I didn't serve. I haven't served. I had a foot thing, and I had deferment for that.
Mr. Trump said, "You think I'm stupid? I'm not going to Vietnam."
Let's take John McCain. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay?
I always wanted to get the Purple Heart. This was much easier.
I know more about ISIS than the generals do, believe me.
The president called former Defense Secretary James Mattis the most overrated general.
Russian intelligence officers offered to pay the Taliban to kill American troops.
President Trump was told about this in March, and he has done nothing.
The president called U.S. service members buried in France losers and suckers.
His visit was scrubbed because the president feared the rain would ruin his hair.
When Senator John McCain died, the president told his senior staff, "We're not going to support that loser's funeral."
We keep people accountable for the way they treat our veterans, and if they don't treat them well, we say, sorry, you're fired, get out.
Midas Touch is responsible for the content of this advertising.